don't know about anyone else, but I have a feeling that when that timer reaches 0, something's gonna happen. Surprise. Yeah. Hello and welcome to me. I am Quans, your friend the friend. I'm gonna apologize in advance. You're gonna hear some eating sounds because I have ice cream. Ice cream is really good. I don't have any ice cream on screen that I can represent it with, but trust me, there is ice cream. What flavor, you might ask? Neapolitan. I like strawberry. Chocolate's alright. And so is vanilla. But together, it's like, it's just magical. You wouldn't expect chocolate. Actually, no, chocolate and strawberries do go together very well. You ever been to Cracker Barrel? They have those, like, chocolate fountains. And they give you, like, strawberries and shit to dip in the chocolate fountain, and those are divine. I also have a soda pop. I haven't opened it yet, so let us do it together. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Perhaps I will. If the world deserves it. I know I usually have like ambient music or whatever in the background. I felt like not doing that today. Also, I haven't been live in how long? Let me double check. 4 weeks. And there have been a few reasons for that. One is I haven't felt like it, and another is I haven't felt like it. Sorry, just I love ice cream. Ice cream's delicious. You'll notice I'm closer to the screen than I usually am. It was actually an accident, but I liked it, so I kept it. I usually have my entire VTuber avatar on the screen. Should probably reset, hang on. Un momento. VTubing is complicated. That's what I say ARF. I don't have many plans for this stream other than talk about stuff and maybe show some of the things that I have worked on. Some of that art that you saw, the pictures of me that you saw during the first 5 minutes during the countdown, that's some of the stuff I've been working on because I am cute. Yeah. I wonder what is it? Good question. Can I do my little hello? Hopefully. Hello. Yeah. I did it. Womber. What epic. I'm gonna keep eating my ice cream so it doesn't melt. I don't want it to turn into ice cream soup. That shit's only good when it's cold. The soup, I mean. It's like borscht. Yum ice. Ice cream soup is cool, IMO. Nuh-uh, wrong. And you're an idiot. No, I'm kidding. What have I been doing for the past 4 weeks or so since I last went live? I talked about this in the last stream I did. I got a bicycle. I finally got the bike back from the shop, but I haven't been riding it because it's been too goddamn hot outside. I get heat syncope if I am doing strenuous activity when it's over 90 degrees out, and it's been over 90 degrees out for the past few days, so it's been difficult. Here, I'm blinking. Well, epic. No. There we go. Isn't this a lovely background image? I wanted to pick something different, and I picked this from my, I have a folder that's just full of album art, and this is from that folder. This is the album cover of an album called Departure from the Northern Wasteland by Michael Honig. It's pretty good. It has balloons, like this one, and also that one, and these, there's like 5 million of them. I wish I could fly in a balloon. I've yet to listen to that one. It's alright. Perhaps I should get to the other stream thingies. Like talking. Here, I'm gonna zoom my avatar out real quick. There, now you can see my feetsies. If you ever are wondering why the dog's out, because they're comfortable. Well, epic, hang on, maybe I can show. Whoa. It's like I'm sitting in a chair that is floating. But I can also do this cause this is fun. Hello there. Yeah. Wait, how do I go back to standing? There we go. I like Breakbeat's, and this is a Breakbeat song. Anyway, hello. Should be showing the thing. Hang on. Technical difficulty. There is a technical difficulty, and this must be sorted out. There we go. Got it. Oh, also, you'll notice the link down there. You don't have to pay attention to that, but whatever. For some reason, I was looking up the Reflex Records Guide to Rocks, Minerals, and Gemstones, which was packaged, I think, with Analog Bubble... Yeah, Analog Bubble Bath 4. I need to eat more ice cream. It's gone soupy, and I don't like that. It's more like soft serve. It's fine. So what do we have? This is what Reflex Records says about rocks, minerals, and gemstones. garnet, January, not to be confused with gannet, a large gull-like seabird. This silicate occurs predominantly in metamorphic rocks. Large crystals weighing several hundred kilograms are known in all colors except blue. Except that's not even true. Blue garnets do exist, just not in nature. I think they're used to make lasers. February, amethyst, sincerity. So already we've gotten through 2 of the crystal gems. Okay, this rock-forming mineral is a violet-colored, macrocrystalline variety of quartz. Abundant in Central America, scientists were chuffed when they recently discovered that it could be synthesized. Originally associated with the pagan god Bacchus, it is believed to provide protection against intoxication. So if you ever don't want to get drunk, just eat an amethyst. That's how it works. The amethyst will absorb the alcohol so it doesn't go in your stomach. Okay, March. Bloodstone or aquamarine. Bloodstone or heliotrope belongs to the ore mineral of iron and is said to originate from the wounds suffered by Christ at the crucifixion. It is a dense green-red variety occasionally used in jewelry for both ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends. One is most likely to run into it in the Far East and Australasia. That's an outdated term. Oh, hello, Dosu. Details of which can be obtained from our travel department. Reflex Records doesn't have a travel department. Excuse me. I need to eat more ice cream. Okay, now we have diamond for April. Diamond's cool. Recently uncovered as what is actually one of the most common Class 1 elements in the geological world. Diamond is famed for its scratch hardness, Mohs rating 10, absolute rating 140,000. It is widely regarded as having perfect cleavage and possess an adamantive luster. It occurs in many colors, even black. According to legend, can offer protection against the forces of evil. Perhaps I should eat a diamond. It might be tasty. Yeah. Okay, then we have May Emerald, Success in Love. This is a green variety of beryl, which appears in or close to pegmatite veins. The emerald is used as a basic building material in the land of Oz, although man-made imitations have been available since the 50s. I consume some, like, gems and jewelry-related content on YouTube just because I have 8 million different interests, and one of them is rocks and minerals. Hold on, I need some ice cream. And one of the people who I watch content from frequently... Where did my eyes go? Oh, there they are. Is a guy named Mason Mignonelli, and he's an Australian jeweler who makes mostly shorts content, and he hates emerald. Made of, like, a gemstone tier list video, and he put emerald, I think, in E tier, just because it's, like, really pretty, but it has... It's incredibly brittle. So, like, if you tap it on the table the wrong way, it'll shatter. Hang on. Ice cream. Okay, June. Moonstone, also pearl and alexandrite. Health and longevity. This form of potash feldspar is renowned for its chatoyancy, a light effect resembling the slit in a cat's eye. Most charming when the cut is en cabochon. This is a particular favorite for us at Reflex, as it comes from our native Cornshire. Cool. Moonstone's cool. I don't have any of those, but I do have some... In my personal collection, I have some, somewhat related, labradorite, which I think is also a variety of feldspar. Labradorite's really pretty. It has this effect, like a moonstone, where it's like if you look at it, it has these colors that reflect out of the inside. It's really cool. Anyway, July, ruby, contentment. I like rubies. This stone typically displays the property of asterism, converging star-shaped rays. Also found over the rainbow, it is a red variety of corundum that was especially sought after in the 70s board game Buccaneer. Its warm glow gave rise to the legend that it contained an internal fire that could never be quenched or concealed. Interesting. So that's a picture of a ruby, I guess. Then we have sardonyx, or peridot, married happiness or friendship. Not particularly intriguing, this one, although we found the definition of the widely overused adjective sardonic to be marked or displaying contemptuous mockery of the motives or virtues of others. Synonyms include ironic, cynical, and wry. Okay, that's funny. Okay, then we have September, sapphire, clear thinking. A lead character in the Bygone science fiction series starring Joanna Lumley, and a popular gem with the chemical formula aluminum oxide. Colors range from blue to orange, and there is a trigonal crystal system with a specific gravity between 3.97 and 4.05, far removed from what you might find in a bottle of Newcastle Brown. The sapphire was once considered to be an effective antidote against poison. You just eat a sapphire if you get poisoned. I only found out fairly recently that ruby and sapphire are both corundum. They're both the same mineral, just two different varieties. And for some reason, if it's pink or deep red, it's a ruby. If it's any other color, it's a sapphire. So, sorry, I had to eat more ice cream. Anyway, next is opal, or alternatively tourmaline. Opal is amorphous and is notable for its particular qualities of iridescence. Water content can be as high as 30%. There are three varieties: the common opal, the opalescent precious opal, and the orange-red fire opal. There is also a make of motor car with a similar name and logo vaguely akin to that of a Sheffield-based record label. Is that actually true? Hang on. I know about the car. It's called Opal. Okay, yeah, I get it. It kind of looks like the Warp Records logo. That's what they're saying. So that's a picture of an opal, but it is very cracked. Sad. Okay, November, topaz, fidelity. Distinguished by its prismatic, encrusting crystals. They occur in acid igneous rocks, common in Carno, and in Grison and placers. Colors are changed by heating. Excuse me. So that's cool. And then December, that's my birth month, is turquoise, or zircon, or lapis lazuli. Zircon is boring. Lapis lazuli is kind of cool, though. Anyway, also called Kali. This is very rare, but once again, not so rare in Cornwall. CuAl6, PO4, 4OH8, 4H2O is the formula, and you'd recognize it by its blue-green coloration and conchoidal fracture properties. Quite likely to be found by small children frolicking near sandstone outcrops. However, it'd be a safe bet they'd fail to recognize any bone turquoise odontolite deposits due to their fossil ivory appearance. And then more shit about the Aphex Twin thing. Analog Bubble Bath 5 is listed as a thing in here, even though it never came out, which is unfortunate because the test press, there are test pressings, but it never came out like in full. But the test pressings that leaked are pretty cool. Okay, let's move on to music. Light mode. Okay, thank God. Music is a good music. You can listen to it here. There's some in the background of this stream. I listened to Outside by David Bowie a few days ago, which is one that I've had on my list for a bit. It was a pretty good album. Not my favorite Bowie thing, But it was a pretty good album. It was also produced by Brian Eno, or co-produced by Brian Eno, which is pretty cool. But it's like a concept album, rock opera with a plot sort of thing. And the plot's pretty cool, I guess. It's like a detective story. A bit like Twin Peaks, where like a teenager has been murdered and a guy is trying to solve the murder of the person. I do want actually, I should have brought this out before the stream started, but the artwork for it, not the cover, the inside artwork for the album is nuts, and it is the most 90s thing I've ever seen. Excuse me. Trying to find the right one. CD. Yeah, this one has all the proper scans. And there's like pictures on the inside sleeve of all the characters involved. And all of them are I don't know who did the artwork for this, but like it's all just David Bowie's face like morphed onto other people's, like face swapped. This was the 90s. Photoshop was the hot shit at the time. And even more 90s is like the lyrics, because I couldn't fucking read them. It's like all the lyrics for the album are there. It's just they're distorted to the point where I couldn't read most of them. I mean, I could have just looked up the lyrics on like Genius or whatever, and in fact I did, but like I was so interested in the artwork that I was like, I need to read it from this. What are some tracks on here that I enjoyed a lot? See, I liked Outside, the first track. I liked Heart's Filthy Lesson, Hollow Space Boy. That was really good. I liked the Pet Shop Boys remix even more though. No Control and I've Not Been to Oxford Town are great. Oddly, I found I liked I Am With Name a lot. I'm Deranged, No Control, all of those are great. No Control, I found out at some point. No Control is in the fucking SpongeBob SquarePants musical. So, like, I've never seen SpongeBob SquarePants the musical or listened to the cast recording. Not really interested in musicals. But upon like perusing Wikipedia, like I often do, I found myself on that article, was looking at the track list and was like, David Bowie? So I looked it up and yeah, it was a track from this album. I think it's the only, if not the only track, then one of only like a couple tracks in the soundtrack for that weren't written specifically for the musical. And it previously appeared on Outside, but they did change the lyrics a bit. But yeah, No Control by David Bowie with different lyrics is in SpongeBob SquarePants the musical. This is a good song, I like it. I mean, once it gets to the meat of the track, it's awesome. But yeah, just the album art for this is literally the most 90s thing I've ever seen in my life. Because look at this shit. Who did the artwork? Where's the credits? David Bowie, Brian Eno, reused Gabrels. Album design and image manipulation by DeNovo. Album cover concepts, David Bowie and DeNovo. Front cover painting, head of DB. 11 by 11 acrylic on canvas by David Bowie. I knew that he painted the cover art himself. The cover artwork wasn't what I was interested in. It was like all the internal art that I was like, oh my fucking god. Oh, Space Boy is a great track, though. Again, I like the but look at all the like the lyrics again, distorted to the point of being unreadable. They're there, but it's like what was anyone thinking? That's my only like question is what was anyone thinking? Probably someone coming along to David being like, "Hey David, have you tried this Photoshop thing yet?" Apparently he did have in the making of this album, he had a program that would sort of generate lyrics, sort of like the William S. Burroughs cut-up technique, where he would have like all these lines just put into the program and it would spit out new lines. And that's where all the lyrics to I Am With Name came from. I mean, that's just one example. But like, you can tell that I Am With Name was generated by that program. Not AI, but generative. There's a difference between like AI, a generative program, and generative AI. There's a difference. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good album. And I listened to this one solely because the alt mix of Heart's Filthy Lesson, solely because guess who remixed it? Nine Inch Nails. I mean, it was an alright remix. It's not anything compared to the remix of I'm Afraid of Americans, though. That's incredible. LFO Advance. I haven't heard the album yet, but a track from it was on the Warp Black compilation, so I gave it stars because it's good. And also, there's a vocal version of it. The song's instrumental, but when Mark Bell started working with Bjork in the 90s, she took the instrumental and she sang over it, and she released it as a B-side called I Go Humble. It's pretty good. I need to listen to more Bjork. I'm pretty sure Vespertine and Post are on my listen to list. Yeah, there's Vespertine, and there's Post. Yeah. I like music, and I was looking at languages. That's something I often talk about in live streams, so I will talk about them now. I was looking up the Serere language for some reason. I don't know even... How did I get here? Okay, I went from Mbalach to Ndup to Ndut initiation rite, and then Serere people, Serere language. Okay. I'm not gonna show the article for the Ndut initiation rite. Because frankly, it's a circumcision ceremony. Anyway, apparently these Senegambian languages have consonant mutations. I'm going to admit I don't know a whole lot about the Atlantic Congo family, like as a whole, because it's not the group of languages I look up the most. I just realized the music in the background is probably way louder than it is in my AirPods. I want to apologize for that. I've had the volume turned lower than... Like in my AirPods, I've had the volume turned down a bit. So, Senegambian languages. So from the Gambia and to Senegal. The Gambia is literally inside Senegal. See, there it is. That's Senegal, that's the Gambia. And now you've learned something. So, these... Okay. The Senegambian languages are well known for their consonant mutations, a phenomenon in which the initial consonant of a word changes depending on its morphological and/or syntactic environment. In Fula, for example, the initial consonant of many nouns changes depending on whether it is singular or plural. So, Pulo becomes Fulbe, and then Gujo becomes Wuibe. I think. I do like the fact that these languages have implosives. Serer I was looking at, because it has voiceless implosives, which are... I mean, implosives in language are rare. Voiceless implosives are more rare. So it gives examples. So we have Balig and then Pib. This used to be the IPA symbol for this, but then for some reason the IPA basically removed it and replaced it with just the voiced symbol with a voiceless dot underneath it. So it doesn't have its own symbol. Example needed. The example's on the Wikipedia page. Beeb. But they also have and and which is interesting, I guess. And there's a text. What was it? Oh yeah. There's a chart, which is pretty cool. Comparison of basic vocabulary words in Senegambian languages. Should probably reload the page. There we go. So we have but, ungit, ngid, yitere, il, has, kos, quas. Non-language. Oh, I see. It's non. That makes more sense. Etc. Phonetics is just something that I love. I love phonetics. So, what are some languages that have the B sound? Possible realization of word initial B in Southern American English. Perhaps. Hausa, Jamaican Patois. Oh yeah, I knew about this one. In Maya and Yucatec and other Mayan languages, they have the B sound, like Balam, which means jaguar. Sindhi, that's an Indo-Aryan language. Baru. Sindhi. I don't know much about Sindhi, honestly. We have a Sindhi dialects comparison. I'm not going to read that. But they have 4 implosive consonants. In addition to like the typical sort of Indo-Aryan retroflex consonants that they have. These are fairly common in languages like Hindi, etc. I only recently, I think Nardi on YouTube made a video about a language spoken in Pakistan that is technically the closest related language to Sanskrit. I can't remember what it was called though. or what branch it belonged to. I just know that it was in the Indo-Aryan branch. Well, here's a chart. It was descended from a Prakrit language. Was it Konkani? I don't think it was. I can't remember what it was, but it was... There we go. Now I can see the lines. So it was a Prakrit language, which was descended from Vedic Sanskrit, but not related to, like, classical Sanskrit, or that closely related to the classical Sanskrit. But I can't remember what the fucking language was. Just, it was... Nardi made a video about it recently. You guys want to see something cool? So as you may know, I'm a shapeshifter. So recently, I decided to shift shapes a bit, and I created a new form. Whoa, I'm too big. Hi, I am a fox now. Yay. This is my new fox form. I am a cool friend. Yeah. And I have no face. Yet I see all. I see exactly what you're doing. Watching me, sitting in your chair approximately 2.3 feet off the ground. I see all. Don't test me. Anyway, let's keep the stream. Yeah. That was an ARF. I say ARF sometimes. Yeah. There's one Indo-Iranian languages, which includes Indo-Aryan, and the Iranian sub-branch, which also includes the Iranian or Persian language. I'm sort of interested in them, as someone who in general just likes Indo-European linguistics. I love this song. Yeah. I think I made... I can't remember if I did this in the last stream, but I think I talked about Avestan, which is an Iranian or Iranic language. Extinct now, but all the written documents that we have of Avestan weren't put into writing until 400 to 500 CE. But the language is much, much older than that. Like, Avestan had stopped being a language. It had stopped being spoken as a language for hundreds of years by the time they wrote down all the key religious texts from Avestan. And so the language itself is so old that it, at the time it was spoken, it was contemporary with Old Persian, which is here. And Old Persian was written in cuneiform. Here's an Old Persian document in cuneiform. It is very old, and Avestan is very old. But it was just transmitted orally and wasn't written down for hundreds of years. Which is actually just like Vedic Sanskrit, because Vedic Sanskrit was also transmitted orally. And the language itself is actually much older than the writing of it. So yeah, the older ones I'm interested in, just because I love historical linguistics. I'll admit, I am not all that familiar with Nuristani. Like, I'm aware that it's a separate sub-branch from Iranian and Indo-Aryan. But I'm not exactly sure what makes it special. Just because I haven't really looked into it personally. So we have the Nuristani languages, known earlier as the Kafiri languages, are one of the three groups within the Indo-Iranian family. They have approximately 214,000 speakers, primarily in Nuristan and Kunar provinces in northeastern Afghanistan and a few adjacent valleys in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Chitral district in Pakistan. The region inhabited by the Nuristanis is located in the southern Hindu Kush Mountains and is drained by the blah blah blah. Nuristani languages were not described in literature until the 19th century. I like the song. Okay, so we have Open. Is that actually like a U or from Proto-Nuristani, Proto-Indo-Aryan Haikas, Proto-Indo-European Hoynos. Phonology, please. Okay, this isn't much help. Prasun has 8 vowels, and the unmarked vowel A, which is pronounced as a high central vowel U. Long vowels are denoted with IPA symbol, such as E. So, what is it? Is it Ü, like in German? We have Kata. Is the... Okay, yeah, the is like a or sort of sound. I, U, E, O, A, etc. Eye, tongue, gut, name. That sounds like a awful description of something. Not sure what. So we have Iji, Achi, 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 Luzuk, these, Ju, Jeep, Jeep, these nuts. Sorry. Vu, Ju, Jo, Ju. Is that like yeah, it's like in Czech. Zhe. Nom, num, nam, nam. It is indeed Indo-Aryan. Actually, the ew here is like yev in Armenian. I think that's the number one in Armenian is yev. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. I love music, and music is good in it. How'd this get here? What? Oh, okay. There it goes. So that was Egbert. Ignore Egbert. Egbert is probably just looking for my boyfriend, X. Because X likes Egbert for some reason, and I fucking hate him. So anyway, ignore Egbert. And I have Omniglot open because I am a predictable person. That's weird. For some reason, like, this bookmark doesn't have a name anymore for some reason. I should give it one. How about Rhyme? Rhyme. Check the Rhyme. I haven't listened to that album. Robert Fripp is doing shit. I haven't been listening to this series just because it's mostly previously released tracks that I don't really care about. Morrissey is apparently releasing something on the 1st of September, and I don't fucking care.
Let me tell you something about an ABC style.
Oh.
ABC style. ABC style.
Okay. I don't care about this. Christoph de Babylon is apparently releasing an album. And another David Bowie compilation. This is the his earliest recordings, basically, from the mid-60s. So I don't care. Davy Jones in the lower third. Yeah, I don't care. It probably would not be my style of music in the first place, just because I don't really like 60s sort of pop rock mod type stuff. Arabic alphabet is pretty interesting. Yeah, do you think about it? Nah. Components of a ligature for Allah. 1. Alif. 2. Hamzat wasl. 3. Lam. 4. Lam. 5. Shadda. 6. Dagger alif. And then 7. Ha. So we have Allah. That's how you say shit. A Uyghur Lam Aleph is rare. This is a good song. With numerals. I want to be able to learn to, like, read Arabic. I can only, like, sort of do that, and even then it's, like, barely. Because there are some letters that I, like, know the shape of, mostly Aleph and Ayin. I know those, and then the rest is just, like, the heck? I get lost. And it being cursive just confuses me even more. But one of these days I really do want to learn how to read Arabic at the very least. Because, like, I can read Hebrew to an extent. Like, I know the Hebrew alphabetical order, etc. It's just, like, having to put into my head that, like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be pronounced is a bit more difficult. The reading from right to left isn't a problem for me, usually. I'm better at reading Yiddish than Hebrew, mostly because Yiddish actually has vowels, and Hebrew doesn't. Even so, I'm better at reading that, but I'm still terrible at it. Traditional orthography, so we have alle Werk, alle Werk, von, I think. Alle Werk von Shalom Aleikum. Shalom Aleikum? Oh, I get it, yeah. I keep forgetting that in Yiddish, when they spell Hebrew words, they spell them in Hebrew, so without the vowels. So, Shalom Aleikum. Alle Werk von Shalom Aleikum. And then, no, or t, I think. Nunt. Maybe it's Gantz. Because for some reason, like in this font, those two letters kind of look identical. So Gantz. Der Milchiger. I'm not sure. Like, I can kind of I don't speak German, but I can kind of understand it, and that means I can kind of sort of understand Yiddish. But like not as much. Just cause Yiddish is Yiddish and German is German. Illustration with a passage from Sholem Aleicham's Sprinze. Sholem Aleichem. Who is that? Is that a guy? Or... It might be a guy. I'm not sure. I've never read up on, like, this type of thing. So we have... Vaihi Haim treft sechs Amasi. Erev Svies is dus Gvein. Oh, okay. And then Yivo transliteration. That's the main, like, transliteration that's used. Vaihi ha-hiom treft zecha meise erev shvuas is dos geven kummich zu vorn mit a bissel milchigs zu einer von meiner Kundes a junge Almone und Reiche von Katernislav was ist gekommen zu vorn mit ihr Zundi. Aronzig heist kein Boiberg Eufen Zoomer. I'm not 100% on the pronunciation of Yiddish. Is resh supposed to be ra like in Hebrew and German, or ra? I've heard both. Maybe it depends on the dialect. Also, it's like Yiddish doesn't have the German sort of ü and and sounds. So they in Yiddish they've evolved out and turned into different diphthongs. So, for an example, in German, the number 5 is fünf, but in Yiddish it's fünf. Zion Shin. J. Again, I need to fucking learn how to read this, because I think it's cool, and it would help me a bit more in learning to read Hebrew. Pre-composed. Oh, I see. It's like, these are like a letter with a Unicode digraph, and this is a separate Unicode character. Not digraph, diacritic. A digraph is... This is a digraph, because it's two of this letter put together. For some reason I was thinking about that the other day. The fact that in this... As a kid, I learned the Spanish alphabet, and there's a few digraphs that are considered separate letters. Like the double L, and also CH. And also in Dutch, there's a famous one. IJ is considered one letter. To the point where if you're capitalizing the first letter in a word in Dutch, you're supposed to, and a word begins with IJ, you're supposed to capitalize both the I and the J. Here's what I mean. There it is. A in Dutch is the pronunciation. So we have ijsvrij yoghurt. Ijsvrij yoghurt. Ryerson Railway Station, each using a different font. This one turns the IJ into Y, and this one doesn't. Oh, and here's another example. Written as one letter. A. So, oh, here's a road sign. So, IJsselmonde is... They capitalize both the I and the J because they're considered one letter together. Bijna. And slijterij. Oh, and here's one. Lijnbus. Combining grapheme joiner. Question mark. Symbol for use on keycaps and in keyboard documentation. No visible glyph. Oh, I see. It is an empty character. What a beautiful character this is. Search Google for... It's literally just an empty character. Would you like to search for nothing? Oh, okay. I did that and I got 2 random guys and also Papyrus wearing sunglasses. Fun. This is what you get when you live on the internet. That was an ARF. I felt like ARFing. Oh, you know what I should do? Is shows the audio-related stuff I've been working on. This will require me to pause the music. RIP. Oh, hang on, I need a drink. Delicious drink. And so now I changed the window to Adobe Audition. This is a program that I use. Right now, I'm working on a couple projects in Audition. One of them is trying to remaster Boards of Canada's random 35-track tape. So far, I've done side A. And that process involved noise reduction, and then remastering every individual track, and then transitioning them together again so that it doesn't, like, have jarring transitions. So I have to have each track have a little bit of the previous track or the next track on both ends, so that I can then transition or fade the 2 ends together. I haven't exported it yet, but here are some samples. That's the first track. Here, I'll turn the volume up a bit so that enjoying may be possible. Yeah. And then we have this one. This track, I just used Ozone's EQ match feature. So I ran it on the version from A Few Old Tunes, which is in better quality, and applied it to this, and it sounds alright. I will admit it is a flawed approach because it brings the noise level up, but that's why I ran noise reduction on it first. Running noise reduction on this was a really complicated process, because there's a lot of noise, and there's also the fact that up until this year, the only available rip of this tape had really shitty noise reduction applied to it, and I don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past, so I had to try and get better noise reduction out of it, which meant not applying as much noise reduction as I'd like, because otherwise elements of the music get taken away with the noise reduction, and that's not what I want. So anyway, track 3 sounds like this. So the remastering process, I showed my process for remastering stuff in the previous stream, and my process for this one is more or less the same, except no compression on this at all, leaving all the dynamics as they are, with the exception of, okay, there is some controlled dynamics compression, or in some cases, expanding, and in some cases compression. But also, I found out that Isotope Ozone 12, which I use, has a feature called Unlimiter, which you can run on something and it will basically remove the limiting. So that's been a bit of a lifesaver because I didn't realize that existed, and there's a lot of stuff I listen to where it's like you can tell a really hard limiter's been applied to it. So I can sort of undo that thanks to this plugin. Not perfectly, but it gives better results than just listening to something that's completely brick walled. Oh, also, this is the best song ever. Yes, I actually did remaster this. It still sounds like ass, but it sounds, trust me, it still sounds better than it did. This one, I did cheat a bit because this track's available in CD quality, so I subbed out the version from the tape with the CD quality version. And then the next one, this 6th track, I'm honestly really happy with how this came out. It's one of my personal favorites by them. Really happy with how that turned out. I'm really happy with how pretty much all of it turned out. Like, this one's like a shoegaze type track, which is pretty cool. And then there's this one. Again, sort of surprised with how it turned out. Or how well it turned out. One difference between how I usually remaster stuff and how I'm doing this is I've added, not to every track, but to tracks like this one, I am also adding an exciter to sort of boost the high frequencies, because for the most part, the high frequencies on this tape cut off at about 12, sometimes even 10 kilohertz. So I'm trying to boost those a bit by adding an exciter, and it seems to work fairly well. There is, again, the issue of it increasing the noise level sometimes, which is unfortunate. Another ambient track. And then a guitar one. This one does sound a lot better than it did. And then in between this one and this one, there's another shorter one, which again exists in CD quality, so I subbed in the version from the CD. Yeah. And then this one. Again, I'm proud of myself for getting it to sound better. There are some tracks in this where I've run it through. I use the automatic sort of scanning that Ozone does, and one of the tools that it uses is called Impact, which lets you sort of control the dynamics in specific areas of the spectrum. And for this track, there were some areas that I felt needed compression and some areas that I felt needed expansion or nothing at all. And so, sorry, I got distracted by something. I am so sorry. I just completely zoned out. Maybe I've been on stream too long. How long have I been streaming for, actually? I actually don't know. An hour. Hmm. Sorry. Fucking the song. Some areas needed compression, some areas needed expansion. And that's because it was like, it had some like tape quality, like artifacts from it. Maybe they were intentional, maybe they weren't. But for this song specifically, it was like whenever there was a kick drum, you could hear the organ drone just sort of dip into the background. So for some of the higher frequencies, I added compression, but for like the bass and the highs, like the very highs, I left those as they were. It still didn't completely remedy it, but it sounds a little bit better. This track was actually another example of a track where I did that with. And then with this track, the only thing I added was EQ match. Again, because there's a version of this that exists in better quality. You'll notice there is a high noise print there. That is actually the noise print from the previous track. And it fades out sometime around here. And I would try and remove it, but at the same time, I think it's interesting to just hear the fact that you can tell where whoever compiled this got these from different tapes. And like the sort of noise trail continues for like 15 seconds into this next track. Because this track was almost certainly recorded onto a DAT, and this track was almost certainly recorded onto a cassette. And you can tell. So this fades out. This fades in. And that noise trail is still there. And you can hear the noise. But then somewhere around here it fades out. Not as dramatically as I thought, but like there is a difference. I love this song so much. But yeah, I've done side A, and that's it. I'll do side B, I just haven't done that yet. What I started working on today was something completely different. I'm trying to remaster one of Radiohead's old demo tapes. Specifically, I think it's from either late 1991 or early 1992. And among fans, it's called the Manic Hedgehog demo. Not because of the character from Sonic Underground, but because of the name of a record shop that helped distribute the tape. And apparently, Parlophone, once they signed the band, actually distributed a copy of this tape themselves. But those are even more rare. So it's the only On a Friday tape, because that's the name they were going by at the time. They weren't called Radiohead when they made this. They were called On a Friday. And that On a Friday demo is the only On a Friday related thing that Parlophone actually released under that name, even if it was just a super limited internal demo. But they changed their name to Radiohead within months. And the same sort of session that produced the tracks on this tape ended up producing their first ever EP, Drill. And in fact, one of the tracks on this tape appears on Drill, Thinking About You. You as well also appears on Drill, but the version that's on this tape is a different take or with different elements. And so far, I've only remastered the first 2 tracks, which are I Can't and Nothing Touches Me. I Can't ended up on Pablo Honey. Nothing Touches Me, I think was recorded for a BBC radio session around 1992, but that was it. Never ended up on an album or a B-side or whatever. But I've managed to get these tracks to what is effectively CD quality, and I'm genuinely just like, how the fuck did I do that? Here, I'll give an example. Here's what it sounded like before. This is Nothing Touches Me. I try not to play too long segments because it is Radiohead. So, I mean, even though this track has never come out, at least in this form, I don't want to fucking piss off Tom York. You seen the shit he's said to critics? Anyway, ran it through the Unlimiter, then noise reduction, and then mastering, and which included EQ match with some tracks from Drill. So now it sounds like this. Before, after. So yeah, I'm really fucking happy with how that turned out. It sounds a hell of a lot better than it did, and it almost sounds on par with something from Drill. Like, just a quick quality example. Here's You from the Drill EP. That's all you're getting. You understand. You have your comparison. Also, something a bit random. I downloaded in full quality recently from the Internet Archive, thankfully. I downloaded the entire series Ubi, which I've made YTPs of on this channel. I downloaded the entire series in full quality as it was on Paramount Plus before it was removed from Paramount Plus. And I'm very glad that whoever did that uploaded them all to archive.org, because other than that, like, yeah, we had really, like, full quality episodes of that show on streaming, and then they were just removed, and now they're on the Internet Archive. So you can get them, the entire series. I still have DVDs that my parents captured off the TV of episodes of that show. And that's pretty cool, because I can get it's interlaced, but I can basically get them at 60 frames a second if once I deinterlace, but they were recorded in really low quality, so they're like 360p or something. These are 720. The Paramount Plus ones are 720p, but they're only at 30 frames a second. But anyway, I added vibrato to an episode, and it is funny. Here is an example.
Boobies like me, boobies like you, boobies got a lot, and he's always with you.
You're witnessing my broken sense of humor working in real time. I lose my shit at vibrato and playing shit backwards. Those are my favorite things ever. Speaking of both of those things, I'm in the process of making a YTP because I'm close to hitting 400 and I want to release it around the time I hit 400, but it's not finished yet. But it is very special. It's a very special video that I'm really excited about. And hopefully once I get the motivation to finish it, I will, and it'll come out on YouTube around once I hit 400 subscribers. Am I at that point? No, I'm at 398. Still, hopefully I'll get to that point pretty soon. Smash that button if you haven't. Please eat my videos. I'm gonna change my avatar back to Rue. Well, mother, why am I so big? I should become smaller. There we go. So that's what I've been working on, audio related things. Back to music. I'm gonna put music back on. Because music is always nice to have in the background. But I'll turn it down a bit, and I'll go back to Firefox. That's me. I am also a fox, which you just saw, hopefully. I actually don't have much else to talk about, I don't think.
Let's get down. Let's get down.
This is bright. Egg. I want to Google the word egg. Here's egg. Wood egg. Can you believe egg? They put an egg inside a person's mouth and made them eat it. I would love to get down. Yeah. Actually, I think I've run out of things to talk about, so I actually think I'm gonna wrap the stream up. There we go. Now make me face the people. Hello. Yeah. The music is still way louder than it should be. Okay. So this was my live stream for the day. I really hope that you enjoyed it and maybe you learned something. And even if you didn't, I hope you enjoyed. I am unemployed and I have no income whatsoever. So if you like the shit that I make, regardless of what it actually is, and you want to help me keep doing it and perhaps even improve, I have a Ko-fi page, which is down there. Feel free to give me even just a couple bucks. Anything helps and anything is appreciated because of I love all of you. You are all my friends. I want to think of all of you as my friends. Even though I don't know any of your names or where you live or what you look like, and I would like to keep it that way. But I have been your fun kangaroo / fox shapeshifter friend, Quans. And I am signing off. And I will hopefully see you again next time. That was for you. That was an ARF for you. Bye-bye. That was a goodbye wave with my shoulder because I don't have arms. Perhaps my arms will reappear one day, but for now, bye bye. Bye bye. Subscribe or else Egbert. Do it. Are you doing it? I hope you're doing it. Okay, I'm actually gonna go now. Bye bye.